we're back and we're at our last house of the street, and it is the most messiest one. I imagine this person, he's a bit of a hoarder, I imagine. Sadly, he's had some bad life moments. I imagine sadly he lost his wife and his child because their room is quite messy. I imagine his wife sadly passed away during birth, because when I did the house I imagined it very old fashioned. That's why I put slate out in the passage but they were the stairs, because in Wales under all our carpets or whatever that we have out by the stairs, it's slate underneath. An old tradition, very old, and hence why we got the green bath. I imagine the green bathroom. I imagine this was done in the 70s, and it has not had anything done to it since. That's why everything is old, fallen apart. It's just dirty looking, and that's how I imagine this house, and it works. I like it. It shows the personality of this sim who's been through some tragedy in his life, and we all have that person on our street that's been through some tough times in their lives. But you'll soon see me adding a big stains on the walls soon. That postcard, I imagine it was his wife's. Yeah, I imagine when they travelled just after they got married, and sadly it's one of his only good memories of his dear wife. But yeah, there we are, I'm adding these stains. I imagine a lot of grease stains, and I dot them more or less in every room. I imagine there's a lot of damp, there's a lot of issues. I imagine the boiler has gone and it's just leaking everywhere. There might be a leaky roof for all I know, and that's how I imagine it. And that's why I put the newspaper in the spare room. I imagine it was doing up the nursery, and sadly something happened, and yeah. But there's a lot of stainage on the floor. I may have overdone it a bit, but for me, I thought this house has been neglected for many, many years of a man who's been grieving for his wife, and this is how I imagined it. He didn't want to touch anything that his wife may have done, and that's what I've done. I just made it look stuck in time. I tried to look for a bed that suited this room perfectly. It's just sadly I couldn't find anything good, but this will have to do. It looks old enough, and this portrait, I imagine it's his wife, maybe at a fancy dress party, maybe. And yeah, everything hasn't changed, and I will put like a floral seat very soon by here, this pink one. I imagine this was his wife's seat, and I'm just going to clutter around with these newspapers and letters. I think he doesn't want to move. This house is falling apart, and it's just a tragic story, and sadly that does happen in real life too. This is his little storage shed, I imagine. I do give him chickens because, you know, even now I do have a neighbour up the street that has chickens in the garden, and boy does it stink, but they have amazing eggs. One of the best eggs I've ever had. So, you know, just get used to it. But like I said, he's a hoarder, and that's why I'm just adding all this clutter in the spare room. I just imagine he just chucked it out there. He just didn't want to remember anything what could have been. So he just puts it here to not look at it. I think this is the most clutter I've done in any build. I changed the colour of the same items because for me it was difficult to find anything that suited the clutter for this build. But we are coming to the end of this video. It's a very short video and I enjoyed this street very well, and I hope you enjoyed this little mini series. So I'll see you soon. Goodbye.